9,000! Oh yeah! Not Ringo.
Happy New Year, everybody, from Dalek44. Well, Christmas is over, Santa has come, and it's now 2016. And I'm still in a little bit of the post-Christmas blues. I mean, yeah, I did have fun playing with all my Christmas presents that I got, like the many DVDs I got, new clothes, chocolates and fruit pastels, Turkish delights, and the new LEGO Dimensions game for the Wii U. And you may be wondering why I'm wearing these gloves and this hat. Well, it's still pretty cold over here in Bristol, and gotta keep warm somehow. But you know the one thing that keeps me really warm inside during this weather? A 2005 CG animated movie known as The Magic Roundabout.
The Magic Roundabout, all friends together now. Come and take a trip, 'cause it's alright.
Based on the TV series from the 1960s, The Magic Roundabout took all our favourite characters that we all knew from the 60s and put them on the big screen at last for this fully animated CGI movie. The idea for this movie was released long before the 2005 film was made. I can't exactly what year they announced it in the newspapers, but it was announced in the newspapers years before it was actually made. So how exactly does the film hold up compared to the original TV series and Dougal and the Blue Cat? Well, let's find out. Here's the story. During a concert made by Ermintrude, played by Joanna Lumley, Dougal, voiced by Robbie Williams, is looking for sugar from a sugar cart. While doing so, he accidentally breaks the magic roundabout, releasing an evil wizard named Zebad, voiced by Tom Baker, who intends to find 3 diamonds to freeze the sun completely. So Dougal and his friends Ermintrude, Brian and Dylan, and the train go off on an adventure to save the world from Zebad and find the 3 diamonds before he does. And the adventure takes them to many places, including snowy mountains, a volcano, jungles, and some old railway tracks, until they finally get back to their home to try and save the world from Zebad. So you've got a story that takes the characters away from the magic garden and takes them to save the whole world rather than their environment. So how exactly does it hold up? Well, I love it. I really love this film. Making a movie based off of an old TV series would be no easy challenge, and God knows how many people have tried to do it and failed. But with The Magic Roundabout, I honestly think they succeeded. Not only did they capture the original spirit of The Magic Roundabout in my opinion, but they captured it really well. The characters are still the characters that I knew from when I was watching the show, and the stuff they put in it is really entertaining. And the CGI in this movie is really impressive. Back when CGI was first made in the 90s, it wasn't very realistic compared to today. Looking at films like Toy Story, for example, the CGI was good back then, but today it's kinda dated. Well, okay, the toys and that one spoon looked alright, but the humans just looked more plastic than the toys. But during the 2000s, the CGI started to look more realistic, especially with Dougal. I mean, when you look at Dougal in this film, you can see every bit of hair on that damn dog. That's really impressive. And that duel between Zebedee and Zebad just kicked major ass. Even though it could have lasted a little bit longer, and personally I think it should, it was a really well done battle. The animation was great and the moves they did were great. Especially that moment where their springs stuck together at one point. So even though the battle could have been a little bit longer, it was awesome back then and it's still awesome today. And the characters in the film are all the characters that we know from the TV series. Now I do miss Eric Thompson's voices for the characters, but I really think that they chose a good cast for these characters. I mean, some of them do sound like what I imagined they would sound like without Eric Thompson. For instance, Dougal, voiced by Robbie Williams, is a sugar-loving dog who's a bit of a coward and a boaster, but in the end finds the courage to become a real hero. Florence, voiced by Kylie Minogue, is a sweet little girl who's sort of like a Christopher Robin type character in this world. And she made the perfect role for the girl in peril and who everyone else had to save. Brian, voiced by Jim Broadbent, was a very optimistic kind of snail. And it's been shown in this film that he had a crush on Ermintrude. And I think I may have seen a little hint of it in one of the original shorts from the Magic Roundabout. But if I don't remember seeing it, then this is pretty new. And I honestly find that pretty interesting. Most films would try to force someone to be love interest, but this film doesn't really do it. Ermintrude, voiced by Joanna Lumley, is quite a vain cow who thinks of herself as a great sinner, and is very posh and upper class in her opinion. And you know when I said that people were forced to be the love interests in films? Well, here, Ermintrude wasn't forced to be the love interest. I mean, in this film they made it interesting by having her completely clueless of Brian's feelings towards her. And this definitely wouldn't be the last time they did anything like this with love stories. But for the time, it was really creative and new. Dylan, voiced by Bill Nighy, is a sleepy rabbit who likes to fall asleep in every chance he gets. But he surprisingly helps out really well when they're in danger. And I found it really hilarious and kick-ass that he was able to show everybody his martial arts skills. The Train, voiced by British comedian Lee Evans, is an optimistic character, quite different from the show. But I honestly don't mind that. I think the optimistic personality goes really well with Lee Evans' voice. And even today I'm still not really sure why they got Lee Evans to voice the Train when it was clearly said in the show that the Train was a she. But I guess female trains can be voiced by any people. I mean, the female characters in Thomas the Tank Engine used to be all voiced by a guy. So in this world anything's possible. And Lee Evans is really hilarious as the Train, especially with this line. Zebedee, voiced by Ian McKellen, is still the wise old Jack-in-the-Box toy we all know. But here we learn about his evil twin Zebad, who's been imprisoned underneath the Magic Roundabout for years. And Zebedee's fear that he may return one day was finally realised in this film. And I think Ian McKellen's voice really goes well with Zebedee. I mean, it just personally suits the kind of character Zebedee is. And the only other character from the show that made it into this film was Mr. Rusby, voiced by Jimmy Hibbert. You know, the guy who voices pretty much every character in pretty much every UK children's TV show. But here he's just basically the same character that he is in the show, the guy who runs the roundabout and nothing else. And he was also there to be put in peril along with the other kids as well as Florence. Now let's talk about the new characters. First there's Zebad, voiced by Tom Baker.
Free at last. It took 10,000 years, but the best things are worth waiting for. Power, revenge, and more power.
Zebad is an evil wizard who's been imprisoned underneath the Magic Roundabout for 10,000 years and wants to bring the Ice Age back by finding 3 diamonds to freeze the sun. And I find it very interesting that as soon as he's free from the Magic Roundabout, things start to freeze over already. And I think his diabolical plan is so diabolical, even for this kid's film, attempting to freeze the sun to turn the whole planet into a frozen wasteland. That's pretty dark, isn't it?
Soon it'll be nice and frozen everywhere, just like it was before Zebedee ruined everything.
This was the very first time I ever saw Tom Baker play a villain, because I normally see him playing likeable characters, like the drunk captain from Blackadder 2, the Doctor from Doctor Who, obviously, and the narrator from Little Britain. So it's quite rare that you see an actor like him play a villain, and he plays the part really, really well. I mean, his character is evil and knows it. He even took being called a despicable fiend as being a compliment.
I know. It's a gift, really.
And I personally think Tom Baker as Zebad steals the movie. Whatever scene he's in, you could tell that he's just going all the way with it. I think it's pretty obvious that Tom Baker must have been having a freaking blast while voicing this character. Getting to do his loud, shouting, booming voice, as well as being really quiet and calm, but mostly insane.
The pressure is too much. I know. Sometimes I feel I'm going quite insane.
And I personally think that they should probably think about casting Tom Baker as a villain in other productions in the future. You wouldn't have thought that a guy like him who's played Doctor Who would be a very good villain, but in this film he surprised us all. And the character is just so full of pure evil. He's the kind of comedic villain that I really love, taking things seriously but also just enjoying how evil he is. The character is evil and knows it and loves every minute of it.
Today, one soldier. Tomorrow, the world. And then perhaps 3 more soldiers. Oh, focus, Dad. Focus.
And then there's his dim-witted henchman, Soldier Sam, voiced by Ray Winston. He was originally a dancing toy soldier on the Magic Roundabout who got blown off the Magic Roundabout when Z-Bad escaped. And as soon as Z-Bad discovered him, he used his magic to turn Sam into a henchman for himself. And throughout the film, Sam tries to be a really good soldier, but fails at most opportunities. He even fails at trying to do an evil laugh compared to Z-Bad's evil laugh.
No, Sam, it's all in the back of the throat.
And rather than just being a typical idiotic henchman like on many other videos, Sam is bumbling, but he's also got a good heart. Even when he's given the job of torturing Dougal, he actually asks Dougal what he's afraid of. Now that's not very often you hear evil henchmen do that. This film tried its best to capture the spirit of the original shorts as Eric Thompson dubbed them for the English audiences, and for the most part it succeeds. But if I have any problems with this film, it's in one minor area. It's the fact that Mr. McHenry and Buxton are absent from the film. And I'm assuming that this film takes place after the events of Dougal and the Blue Cat. I'm just assuming that. But for some reason we never get to see Buxton or Mr. McHenry. And I honestly don't get why we don't see any of those two characters. Though Mr. McHenry may not have played a very big role in the film, but it still would have been nice to have seen him in the film. At least showing every single character that have been in the original Magic Roundabout TV series. But that's just one minor complaint, and it doesn't really come close to ruining this film, which is really good in my opinion. So I definitely say that the Magic Roundabout is a really good film. It's got great characters, a really good story, superb music, and great animation. The CGI is pretty good, and it does hold up even to this day, but I honestly miss the puppets. I mean, don't get me wrong, the CGI is good, and it does hold up to this day. It looks very realistic, including the hairs on Dougal. But every time I watch it, I do find myself thinking about the puppets a lot. Sometimes I wonder to myself what the movie would have been like if they'd made it with the puppets from the original show. Then again, if they did, it might have taken them a bit longer to have finished the film. Some people may not like the Magic Roundabout movie compared to the original TV series and Dougal and the Blue Cat. But for me personally, I love it. It was one of my favourite films from 2005. And every now and then I put it on the telly for some nostalgic feelings, since the characters are nostalgic to me. And I enjoy watching it to see how the animation is compared to the original puppets. And while the CGI animation is really superb as I said before, I really do miss the puppets and wish that they were in here. But all that aside, the Magic Roundabout is a really great film. And I honestly enjoy going back to it every time I want to feel some nostalgia for that Magic Roundabout feeling. And if you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. It's a really great film with a really great story and really great characters, and you'll have a lot of fun watching Tom Baker as the villain. And for everyone out there who still has the post-Christmas blues, you'll get through it. And if you want some help getting through it, then put this movie on if you like it and get some nostalgic feelings if you ever grew up with the Magic Roundabout. I'm Dalek44, and happy 2016 everybody.
No